Have you ever wondered why some people regret retiring, even when their finances are perfect? If you're somewhere between, I think I can retire, but what if I'm wrong? It usually comes down to missing one or more of these 5 boxes. Check them all, and you don't just have the money to retire, you could have the green light. And there is a difference. You'll see exactly what I mean in box 4, which I see blindside more retirees than any market crash ever has. We'll start with one you've probably already been losing sleep over. It's probably the most obvious one on this list, and it's where we can answer the big question. Do I have enough? This is box 1, the safety box. Most pre-retirees try to answer it by staring at their portfolio and asking, does this feel safe? And the honest truth is, it never does. However, there's a difference between being mathematically safe and feeling certain. Math is a calculation. Certainty is a choice you make once the math is done. So I want you to stop looking at the big number and start looking at a simpler one, your monthly gap. Your income floor is how much of your non-negotiable monthly bills are covered by guaranteed income. Social Security, a pension, or similar. Think mortgage or rent, groceries, utilities, insurance, the stuff that has to get paid no matter what the market does. Let's look at an example. If your monthly must-haves total $6,000 and your Social Security covers $4,000, then your portfolio only has a $2,000 a month job to do. You're not looking to fund your whole lifestyle, just plug that gap. And when you see it that way, the math stops being terrifying and starts being manageable. Now, what if you want to retire at 63, but Social Security doesn't start until 67? That gap is what I call the bridge fund. It's money that's set aside specifically to cover those years, so you're not gambling your first years of retirement on market performance. And here's what most people miss. The bridge fund doesn't just cover the gap, it buys you the option to claim later and lock in a higher benefit for life. So you can check box 1 when 2 things are true. Your income floor covers your must-haves, and your bridge fund is built through your Social Security start date. Once your income floor is covered, most people assume the hard part is done. But there's something that can blow up everything we just built, and most retirees don't see it coming until it's too late. Box 2, the debt box. I want you to think of debt like gravity. Every dollar you owe on a mortgage, a car, anything, is a dollar of your portfolio working twice as hard just to keep you in place. I've seen people with $800,000 feel completely free because their home is paid off. And I've seen people with $2 million feel broke because they're carrying a $4,000 mortgage payment every month. You clear this box when your major liabilities are gone, or if the mortgage isn't fully paid off, when those payments are fully accounted for. What I mean is this: if you still carry a mortgage, you need what I call a debt bucket, a separate pool of low-risk assets specifically designed to help those payments for the next 10 years. Now, debts can steal your retirement, but there's one thing I've watched steal someone's best years more than any other, and that's box 3. It's the health box. Most people treat age 65 like a legal restraining order. They genuinely believe they can't retire before then because of health insurance. And I get it, the numbers can feel brutal. $1,000, $2,000, even $3,000 a month without employer coverage. But here's the reframe. Health insurance is just another bill, like a car payment. If you have the bridge to pay for it, a specific earmarked fund that covers those premiums until Medicare kicks in, the Medicare wall is officially gone. You check this box when a $2,000 healthcare bill doesn't break your plan when it's already accounted for. And here's why covering that expense might be one of the best financial decisions you could make. In retirement, there are seasons. The go-go years, your 60s, early 70s, when you have the health and energy to travel, hike, be present with the grandkids, then the slow-go years, then eventually the no-go years, when the desire is still there, but the body has a different opinion. The reality is your money can compound forever, your health cannot. Every year you stay in a high-stress job past your enough number, you're not banking a year, you're spending a go-go year. And spending is the one thing you can't undo. Here's a way to make that real. If you're 62 with 15 active years ahead of you, one more year at work isn't just 12 months. It's 7% of your remaining high-energy life. Gone. Not delayed, gone. Retiring at 62 with slightly less money and 100% of your health is usually a better mathematical trade than retiring at 67 with more money and 70% of your energy. I've sat across from too many people who let the fear of a healthcare bill cost them the very years they were trying to protect. So far, every box has had a cost attached to it, but the next two have nothing to do with your bank account, and they're the ones I've watched derail the most retirements, starting with box 4, which is my favorite, the purpose box. Here's the question most people don't ask until it's too late. What does Tuesday morning look like? Not the first Tuesday, but the 200th one. I call this the dog chasing the cyclist problem. The dog is absolutely committed to the chase. In that moment, it's the only thing that matters. And then one day, it catches the cyclist and has no idea what to do next. A lot of retirees hit this in year 1 or 2. The honeymoon phase ends, the trips are taken, the projects are done, and the quiet restlessness sets in. Not for everyone, but for more people than will admit it. So the first part of this box is an honest question. Pull up your calendar from last month. Go through it and mark every block one of 3 colors. Red for the things you dreaded, yellow for the things you were neutral on, green for the moments that actually felt worth it. For most people still holding on past their number, it looks something like this. If your week is 80, 90% red and yellow, here's what that tells you. If you've already checked the first 3 boxes, you are literally trading your life for colors you don't like. The work isn't feeding you anymore. It's just paying you. And at this point, that number might not be changing your retirement at all. That's the first part. Here's the second. What are you retiring to? Not from, but to. I tell my clients, before you retire, you need at least 3 non-work identities that are already active. Not I'll figure it out, already happening. That could be a hobby group you're part of, volunteering you've already started, a passion project with real traction. The retirees who thrive walk into retirement like it's the next chapter, not the last one. Box 4 isn't about escaping something, it's about having a plan for what the next step actually looks like. But here's what most people miss when it comes to purpose. They start planning this for themselves, not for the person they're actually going to live with every single day, which takes us onto our final box. Box 5, the co-pilot box. This is a big one if you're married or partnered, and usually non-negotiable. Retirement doesn't just change your schedule, it changes the entire operating system of your household. The data backs this up. According to the Pew Research Center, divorce among couples over 50 has doubled since the 1990s. And the only age group where divorce is still rising is couples over 65, right in the middle of retirement, because nobody planned for what daily life was actually going to look like. If your partner has been running things at home for years and suddenly you're there all day, every day, it's a massive adjustment for both of you. I've had clients where the finances were completely locked in, the plan was excellent, and the relationship went through a genuine rough patch in year 1 because they'd never actually mapped out what retirement looked like together. Who handles what? Do you need your own space? What does midweek look like for each of you? What does money feel like now that there's no paycheck coming in? Even when the plan says you're fine. You check this box when those conversations have happened, when you've mapped out what a typical week looks like for both of you, not just one. When your partner isn't just on board with the plan, but genuinely excited about it. When you've built space in the plan for both of your identities. A simple test. Could your partner describe your retirement plan in detail right now? If not, this box hasn't been checked yet. Because the last thing you want is to have checked every financial box perfectly and find out the hardest adjustment isn't the money. It's figuring out how to adapt to a life where you constantly are in each other's space. Get this right, and retirement becomes something you're both building together, not just surviving. When you can confidently check these 5 boxes, you're likely more ready to retire than you first thought. The thing is, even when everything looks good on paper and your light has turned green, there's one mistake I see hardworking savers make more than any other, and it's not pulling the trigger. The transition from saver to spender goes against everything you've believed for the last 30 years. So instead, people put off the life they've been building towards. and the window to actually enjoy your retirement gets smaller each year you wait. I'm Eric, co-founder at Allwealth Planning, and in my next video, I'm going to show you the exact calculation we use to tell our clients the precise moments it's mathematically safe to stop saving. A number that makes the decision feel less like a leap of faith and more like a logical next step. Subscribe so you don't miss it. You might realize you've already won the game.